I think that's going. Well, here I am. I'm back on the job here. A little tired, it's late. You can tell it's dark outside. And this is January, first week of January still. And, well, actually, I don't know. I guess maybe it's the 8th or something like that. So we're getting past the first week of January. But we're in Southern California, which is why I'm working on it at an open window after dark in shirt sleeves, with only my incredible layer of Christmas fat to keep me warm. Where I've been in the last month, there's been a buffet cranking, and I have partaken richly. I was just thinking about the minimum wage here. I was hearing about it earlier on the radio, and I've been hearing about it an awful lot lately. And I've been engaging a little bit in the debate about it with people on Facebook. On Facebook, I'm pretty active, and almost everybody that I have traditionally hung out with, being a folk singer, I am, the only, as far as we know, conservative folk singer in America. There may be one or two others, but they're laying low, definitely, because, man, there's no group meaner than the acceptance and tolerance crowd when it comes to finding a conservative in their midst. When I sort of came out as a conservative, it was probably about like it would have been coming out as gay in the 50s. Pretty harrowing. Of course, now, you got to come out as not gay, and that's almost dangerous. Being gay makes you a virtual hero in the crowd that I have traditionally hung out with. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. But I'm thinking a lot about it looks like, Mr. Obama is reeling so much from the problems with the rollout of the Obamacare that I think he's going to try to throw a bone as much as he can. He tends to do that when he gets in trouble. He tends to say, okay, well, geez, whose votes can I buy for the Democratic Party? And the way you'd usually do that is you give him something, Like when he was facing Romney, and he knew he was looking at possibly having Marco Rubio on the ticket with Romney. When that week that was happening, suddenly he was interested in immigration. Hadn't said a word about it. But suddenly he was interested in immigration, so he did one of his executive order things, and kind of passed a very thin version of the DREAM Act on his own. That's the way he likes to do things. Just, okay, well, I got a party to go with, too. Hang on a second, let me see what's going on here. Get that later. But this time I think he's going to have to throw something to the people out there in unemployment land. He wants to give them pretty much permanent continuation of unemployment insurance, which is another thing I've been arguing with people about. The belief that there is nothing quite as clarifying as running out of money entirely. As a guy who's been, who's really run out of money the last 2 winters. Not so much this winter. I'm working all through this winter, but the last 2 winters I ran completely out of money. I lost all my money in the 2008 thing. I bought a property around that time and lost all my money. So I still own the property, but it's upside down. So I know what it's like to not have any money. And I know that if somebody was giving me money right now, see, I don't get any unemployment. I work for myself. I run out of money. I would just run out of money. But if somebody's going to give me money for not going to work, I'm going to look at the jobs and think, well, I'm not going to take a shitty job because, I'm already getting paid as if I have a shitty job and I'm staying home and Facebooking all day, and hanging out watching Jerry Springer. So the idea that everybody really has wonderful, wonderful character, and a poor person is never, ever poor because of anything that he or she has done. It's always the 1% has done it to them, for God's sake. But anyway, that's an unemployment thing. But the minimum wage, I think I'm a little bit qualified to talk about it because this job that I'm doing before your very eyes right now, I got this job when I was 28. And I had been a drug addict and a drug dealer for 6 years before that. And I was pretty much at the end of my rope, and I was falling apart, basically. And I holed up at my parents' house for a while, slept on my mother's office floor, and told my dad that I would take the first job that somebody offered me. Well, I thought that would hold for a while. I didn't think anyone was likely to offer me a job, so I was just sort of hanging out there, trying to stay off drugs and getting drunk on tequila every night till I passed out on my mother's floor. And lo and behold, my father came in one day and said, "Hey, I found a guy that'll hire you." And it was prepping for, I really hate this phone. It gives me 19 alerts every time anybody calls. It was prepping for paint. And I went to work for this guy for minimum wage. And I was 28 years old. And for the year that it took him to train me how to paint, I made $50 a day for an 8-hour shift at 28 years old. But I was so happy to have any kind of work and any sort of opportunity that I took it, and I learned the craft. And about, I don't think it was even a year, about probably 10 months in, he bid a job that I thought, well, you know what, I think I could do that job, and I wasn't too happy with him, and I went and undercut his bid, and I got that job from him. I stole that job out from under him. It was somebody I knew anyway. It was a connection from me. So I took that job away from him, did it myself, and I've been doing it ever since. And even the first year working on my own, I was working for minimum wage. I had still some doubts about my own skills, rightfully so. And I painted houses unbelievably cheap for a while. So the point I want to make is that to get an entry-level position, you're getting something other than the money. Now, you're getting the training, you're getting the skills. Now, I don't see that any Democratic politician has any trouble understanding this concept when it's going on in their office and they've got free interns. They've got interns there working for free. And because the understanding is those interns are getting experience working in Barbara Boxer's office or somebody like that, Howard Dean's office. And therefore they're getting something that is quite valuable to them. And so they think, well, of course we're getting them for free, but they're getting to work in my office. They're getting to learn how this stuff goes on. Same is true of any minimum wage job. That is part of why you're being paid. That is part of why you're being paid so little. You are being trained. Somebody else is off of their job teaching you. So the productivity goes down just to bring you on. Somebody had to train me every little process that now I can do so easily, almost without thinking. Somebody had to show me, and oftentimes go back and fix what I'd screwed up, or walk me through fixing what I screwed up. And so getting half of what the other guys were making made good sense. And I should have been grateful to have that job, and in fact I was grateful to have that job. I'm grateful more now than I was then because I realize how much I learned. But what the Democrats would like to do is they would like to keep people in place. You go to work for Walmart or whatever, and they don't want you to learn skills and go up the ladder. They want you to stay there, and if you're at the $8 level, and if you're at the $8 level, and here's the $15 level, it's 3 steps up. They want you to stay put and drag that back toward you. So you stay a cashier at Walmart, and now you're going to get $15 an hour rather than learning the skills and moving up, becoming a floor manager or whatever it is, and moving up to where the $15 an hour job is. Democrats want to pull that down to the bottom. And so those people are going to stay there forever. And those jobs are going to disappear for young people who are still living with their parents. That's what those jobs are for, entry level. And the Democrats just want everybody to be dependent upon them. Then you're there, you're stuck, you're unhappy, and they got you where they want you. And people's kids got nowhere to work. Well, maybe they don't know this. Maybe they're just that dumb about economics. Maybe they've never run anything. Certainly Obama never has. Before, certainly he's run the country now for 5 years, so I can't say that about him now, but before that he'd never run a business, and he seems to have a profound lack of understanding about how the stuff works. So it's not that I don't want people to make money, of course not. I want them to be motivated upward so that they don't settle and stick in a place and find sort of an evolutionary cul-de-sac where they have no further need of growth. I want everybody striving upward, and I want the entry-level positions to be held by entry-level workers, people who are just entering the system. So that's my take on that from experience. I now make, by the way, about $25 an hour.